I apologize to you folks for being late. I was telling Van, I knew there was something I was missing this morning, and I was over there across the street at my office, and and then when I answered the phone, I said, "Uh-oh." All right, we're going to the 2021 Board of Equalization and Review for Union County. We've been appointed by the county commissioners to hear any and all complaints with respect to concerns regarding the valuation of their property for tax purposes. Property owners appearing before the Board of Equalization Review have the right to a fair and equitable hearing. The Board of Equalization Review has been charged with ensuring that the proper legal principles have been applied in the valuation dispute for tax purposes. And here's the format. The clerk calls the case and locates the property. The appellant presents his or her case. The assessor's office offers their defense. Both parties will be given an opportunity to conclude their comments. All questions should be directed to me or the board. The taxpayer will be notified in writing of the board decision. By statute, the burden of proof is on the taxpayer to demonstrate the assessment is erroneous. After the hearings, we'll go into the deliberation stage. You're welcome to stay, you're welcome to leave after that, and we'll make a decision based upon the county and your testimony. All right, let's begin the hearing.
Tab number 1, parcel ID number 09137-044, AMP Land and Farms LLC.
Good morning.
Morning, Brad.
The subject property is located just off of Tomberlin Road, which is, the location is 200 North. Balcom D's will be on your left. Village Lake Drive on your right. Tomberlin Road will be the next road on your right, and the property is just up the road here, located, outlined in blue. It's a 2-acre parcel of land that's vacant.
Thank you.
Sir?
Who's the owner?
Mr. Yeah.
Step up if you would.
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you, everybody. Well, it seems like, all these properties they have picked up, they are like the highest amount of sales in that area, or not even close to that, because around that parcel, almost 90% of lots I own, and a lot of them I bought for $7,000 a piece or $15,000 an acre at max. Even today, if you look at the parcel number 039, that means 09137 039, that's a house right sitting there on Country Land Court. That's the only house, and that has about a 0.8 acre. That house is valued total at $52,000. The land value there is like $15,000. Every other parcel I own there, you can go check. I have like a big map here. Everything around there, I own it's like $7,000 to $15,000 tax value. Now in this case, you will see that I had to pay more because the guy who had bought, there were 2 lots, 43 and 44, so about an acre each. And they actually cleared up, it was all wooded, and it wasn't valued just like any other thing. So he tried to clear that, and he applied for septic, and what he told me, and I don't have any proof about, because I just applied with Department of Environmental and Soil Scientist Department of Union County, so they had not provided me with that report. But what he told me that those 2 1-acre lots, one of them did not perk. The other one, he said it perked at the wrong place. I said, what do you mean wrong place? He said, it means it perked at the front of the house. You need the perk to be at the back of the house. And you can very well tell that somebody who spent $50,000 and abandoned the plan to build a house and left. So I just bought that. And I also paid probably premium for that, because if you see all the lots around it, that actually connecting or access to the main road. So I agree that I paid a little bit more than a market value. That is basically a cost of nuisance that somebody who's blocking that, if it would have been there, it would be costing me more in the future. So that's what I paid more for. But otherwise, and I also probably correct myself, because I asked for the tax opinion, my value to be $11,000, because that time I thought it was $11,000 each, that 1 acre, so it should be $22,000. So that's my actually corrected appeal. It should be 22,000 or 25,000 in line with all the lots around there.
Do you, the right-of-way or the road through your property, what's that leading to back there?
Which one?
In other words, I see a road right through your property.
No, it doesn't actually. I think the old times, the previous owner of the whole thing, they used to put like a double wide, something like that. So they had taken a power. So they had created that little rough road for the power.
So what's this?
We just cleared that up because we could play a ball game, over the weekend with my community because we don't have any cricket fields in the county. And that's why I bought the land basically as my kind of weekend farmhouse. And we play there like in summertime, 5-6 times a year.
So you own this too?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. And I heard Brad, you said it's 2 acres?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you have, this 2 acres, you have not had it perked yet?
No, I didn't do anything after that, and I did not.
Okay.
I don't plan to build anything at all, and I can actually promise you today that I won't build anything over there for at least next 10 years, because I don't plan to build. I live in a city, I live in South Park, Charlotte. I just come here over the weekend with my wife, and we just have lunch or something, and that's what we do use that space for.
Mark, you got any questions?
Yeah, you said you acquired the property. When did you acquire it?
I acquired in 2018, I believe, 17,
Did you
yeah,
pay?
18, March 18.
In March of 18, did you say 15,000 you paid, which is over what you thought it was worth? What did you pay for it?
I mean, I paid $60,000 for the whole thing, because.
You paid 60 for the whole thing in 218, is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
But that is because, like I said, the guy who had bought those lots before, he had put a lot of money to clear that lot, and he did try to perk it. He wanted to build a house, but he abandoned the plan and he left.
Okay. And so just to make sure again, you've never had the 2 acres perked or anything? have
No,
you?
I did not do anything myself,
All right,
because I don't intend to build there.
all right.
Because I also own the house on the corner there, so if I want to, I can live there. So I was never planned to build there.
Okay. I don't have any more questions.
Ray, you have anything?
Yeah, is this all wooded? It's all wooded?
Yeah.
It's 100%.
Yeah, except that part, he saw that that's where we made some sort of a makeshift cricket field for us to play. That's about 4 acres is clear lot there.
Okay, that's all I have, Randy.
Okay. All right, sir, we'll hear from the county now, and I'll give you an option to talk at the end again, after you hear from the county.
Okay.
Robin Bellman, can y'all get me a pen? I thought I had a pen up here. Somebody. Thank you so
I
much.
got two, so you can know what it is.
Well, I appreciate that. I got one. Thank you. Just didn't have a pen. Thank you. Yeah. I'm good.
Okay.
Hey, Brad.
Hey, this one's pretty simple. It's 2 acres, vacant land. The vacant lots that he owns, that he's referring to are, let me zoom out here and put the parcel lines on. But this is was a platted subdivision that, no doubt had some issues. You can see all these lots that never got built on. And the reason we have such a low value on these other lots that he's referring to is they're too small to build on per zoning. They don't meet zoning requirements.
Well, the R20,
That's R40 out there.
but are these lots R20 or?
Well, these lots are, yes, they're half an acre in size.
Yeah, so that's why it didn't go.
Yeah, so therefore, we have an unbuildable value on them, that they're not large enough to build on, therefore the value reflects that. So we have to value each parcel as it stands on its own. So this parcel is 2 acre tract, is large enough to build on. The taxpayer said that he wasn't sure that it perked. I asked for the documentation, he didn't have any, so therefore we left it at full market value. This is fair and equitable with all other 2 acre tracts in that area. Behind your yellow sheet, there's the sales that we used to value those lots in that small neighborhood there. This is right near Balcom Dees Road. You can see all these lots from 0.9 acres all the way up to 2 acres, and the one highlighted in yellow is the subject property that I sold. So these are the sales that we use to value these lots. We currently have 50,300 on the subject. You can see it sold in 2018 for 67.
Ray, got any questions for Brad?
Yeah, Brad, all of these ones on your, are less than 2 acres, I see. They're non-billable lots?
Oh, no, sir. They're buildable.
Oh, they are?
Yes, sir.
Okay. That's all I have, Randy.
Okay, Mark, you got any questions?
Yeah, on that last one on the list, you said it's highlighted in yellow. Is that the appellate's
It is.
property? And it says he paid $67,000 for 2.03 acres?
Correct.
Okay, that's correct. I don't have any questions.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
You have anything else, sir, after hearing that?
No.
Okay, all right.
Tab number 2, parcel ID number 05123-059A, Nancy and Daniel Hudson.
This parcel is located off Davis Road in Crow Creek Acres. Just, here's jars for reference. Parcel's in blue.
All right, thank you. Mr. Hudson? Good morning.
I got a lot more trees on my land than that.
They grew, huh?
Oh, it looks better now. All right, well, everybody
you.
has my, a copy of the appraisal I just had done about 6 months ago. Well, actually, it's coming up on a year ago. So the appraisal is about $56,000 less than what the county is now telling me that my property is worth. I don't mind values of property going up, because that's kind of a little retirement nest egg possibly for my wife and I. But being taxed on the arbitrary increase in value that happens just naturally because of the growth of the city of Charlotte or for whatever other reason, it shouldn't be passed on to those of us who have no ability to compensate for that in our lives. So my wife and I work at JARS. We're on an absolutely fixed income that can only go down as the economy gets worse. And yet here the value of the property has been assessed higher. So I don't disagree with, you know, all the little sales around me being at a higher value. I just don't see how that's my fault. And if the city of Charlotte continues to grow to the south, the value of my property may go up to $1 million an acre. In fact, I expect that it will within the next 10 years. I still don't see how that's my fault. I live there. I want to live free. I want to live within my means, within my income. And as the perceived value of properties around me go up, I still want that freedom. And so to me, it's all on a matter of principle. Can I afford to pay tax on the county assessed value right now of $259,000? Absolutely I can. That's not the problem. The problem is that things are going on around me that I have no control over, and I'm being asked to pay because of those things that are happening. And I disagree with that. No one will argue that the person or entity with the power to confiscate property due to any reason is the true owner. The county, Union County, owns every single square foot of the county. Nobody else owns it. If you don't pay taxes on it, they come get it, proving that they are the true and sole owner of the property. For a very high price, I buy the right to rent my property from the county for what you call a tax. That's fine, as long as the economy is going along just fine. We all can ignore the problem. We can pretend it doesn't exist, but still yet, people are losing property all over the United States because they cannot pay the taxes. I would venture to say that the homelessness problem in America can be traced back to property taxes. I don't think you could find a homeless person in America whose family did not own land at one time that they lost due to the lack of paying of property tax. My family lost 100 acres in Vermont, which is now probably worth in the millions because somebody didn't pay the property tax. I've never met that person. It happened close to 100 years ago. So anyway, now you know what I think about this. I've given you proof that some reputable person here in the Union County who collected 500, excuse me, collected over $500 of my money to assess my property, $564.09, said that the house could be built and replaced for $195,000, and that the resale value, in her opinion, is $205,000. So that is the sum total of my appeal, and I wait for your careful consideration.
Hang on a minute. Ray, you got any questions for Mr. Hudson? Mark, got any questions for Mr. Hudson?
No, sir.
All right, we'll hear from the county now, Mr. Hudson, and give you a chance at the end to make other comments if necessary.
All right.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
I have provided a comparative sales analysis. It's got 5 sales on it, and it supports our value of $259,400. The sales occurred between March and October of 2020, with 4 of those sales occurring after July 15th. So they're very valid sales. They're very current, very close to the reval date. The appraisal that we got this morning has 3 comparable sales on it. The first one was sold in December of 2019. The second one was sold January of 2020, and the last one, comp 3, was July of 2020. I would contend that the appraisal is not as valid as our comparative sales analysis, and recommend that you stay with our value of $259,400.
Well, you got any questions? Ray?
Yeah, excuse me, you said that the appraisal that he provided was not valid?
I didn't say it wasn't valid. It's valid. It was dated August 12th of 2020. It's valid. It just doesn't have as relevant of information as I do. The sales are older,
Oh, okay,
further away from the reval date.
that's all, Randy.
All right. Thank you.
Tab number 3, parcel ID number 071290097. Alexander William Larry is a no-show. Tab number 4, parcel ID number 08114-012, LJW Land LLC is a no-show. Tab number 5, parcel ID number 08144-001B, LJW Land LLC is a no-show. Tab number 6, parcel ID number 08144-005, LJW Land LLC is a no-show. Tab number 7, parcel ID number 0709-0005P, Sun Valley Commons LLC.
All right, this property is located on Wesley Chapel Stouts Road. It's right beside where the new Taco Bell has been built at the entrance to the movie theater. It's encumbered with easements, and we've accounted for that, and we'll hear from the appellant.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How you doing, Tom?
I'm good. How are you, Mr. Aycock?
I'm good.
Thank you, gentlemen, for letting me come present today. I brought with me the board for Sun Valley Commons just to give a little representation. Basically, as you can see here, this is what we use for marketing purposes. We show all potential tenants where they'll be. This is lot 5. The lot they're talking about next to lot 5. We actually only have it as a lot because it can't be sold. There's no marketable value. The main thing here is, as you can see in the picture, if you've been out to this, you've been to the Taco Bell, you know there's actually a bridge right beside this on Wesley Chapel Stouts Road where a creek runs. That is coming from our detention pond as well. So you can't actually build anything on there. The only thing you can have is easements that run through there. But we can't sell it, can't do anything with it. There's no way to recoup this income to pay for these tax values, so that's why we think the tax value should be 0.
How big is this, how big is this parcel?
This one is 1.22 acres.
So when this pond was built, or this retention pond, the runoff from this retention pond this lot was planned for that runoff, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
You can kind of see right next to the blue line, there's a little bit of like a square concrete structure, that very tiny structure.
Yep.
That's actually the runoff. So you can see it runs directly to
Okay.
the center of that lot, essentially.
okay. Mark, any questions for Tom?
Have you had a chance to discuss this with the county in the same way? You know, you told us that you can't build on it and stuff. Did you say-
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they sent that and told that exact reasoning for it. Do you know if that was told to y'all? It was. Okay, it was.
Okay.
Okay.
No other questions.
Ray?
That's right next to the new Taco Bell, right?
Yes, sir.
I see. No question.
Okay.
You can actually see this is an older photo, but that wet weather ditch actually flows into the lot as well. And we've had to put piping underneath the Taco Bell. So it's actually catching water from the left side or the southwest portion of the property as well. So everything on the property, all of Sun Valley runs to that area. So it holds a lot of water.
So it holds a lot of water.
It's supposed to drain through it, but over the
Underneath, or-
years, the trees and stuff have slowed it down, and it's just unbuildable.
Can you build up around the full pond holding area?
No.
You can't?
Mm-mm.
All right.
All right, so, thank you, Tom.
Yes, sir.
So is this property, in a 100-year floodplain now, or will it be, you think?
Well, let me, if I could, address this. I handled this parcel the first time around when the property was built. It's not a flood zone, but it is a wetlands area. It has a spring, naturally occurring water bubbles up through it, and because of that, it's protected. So while it isn't flood zone, it cannot be built upon.
Right.
It can't be built on? Is
It
that-
cannot, yes.
Oh,
Typically for unbuildable, we give 75% off. I've given 95% off on this property. Originally, we started out, when we converted the data, the old line items that gave reductions were removed and it was put on it. If it didn't have these issues, this property would be worth $800,000. And we're at $36,600. So that's 95% off. And the value that it has is to the properties that it serves.
Right.
So we felt like $30,000 an acre was justifiable as opposed to $655,000 an acre.
Okay. Any questions, Mark?
no.
Ray?
Yeah, just for my education, that's a standard is 95% off?
No.
75% off is what, 75% off is what we normally do for unbuildable, but we had given 95.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Tab number 8, parcel ID number 07090005R. Sun Valley Commons LLC.
All right, this is at there's the other entrance off Old Monroe to the movie theater in Sun Valley Commons. There's the Goodyear is the frontage there on Old Monroe Road, and this is directly behind it. There's like a little fruit stand, farmer's market type of building on this property.
Can you spread back out? Let me see where
Yeah, I agree. See exactly where it is.
yeah. I think I know, but I don't want to guess.
That was McDonald's.
Okay.
All right, this is the movie theater up
Yeah.
here,
Okay.
McDonald's and Goodyear.
So y'all don't have a very high opinion of this property, huh?
Some of these properties, no, sir. This one, as you can see, it was originally approved for an ATM and/or a farmer's market. And so this is actually owned by the entire owners association. So we had a contract to buy it from the owners association for $255,000 in July of 2020. So that's why we think this tax value should be $255,000.
So the building was built.
The building, the farmer's market, you mean?
Yeah.
So that building, we actually, the owners association only owns the land, and they lease the land out to a farm that actually is Rolling Hills Farm, and they use their farm permit to actually do a pole barn there. So we don't actually own the building or anything on it.
But you own the land.
Yes, sir.
So you lease the land.
Yes, sir.
So how much is the lease per month to the landowners?
$1,250.
$1,250?
Yes, sir.
How much land is this?
This is .597 acres.
I've got some questions for the county. Mark, you got any questions for Tom?
Yeah, you said you're trying to acquire the property back from the the association? Or
Yes, sir.
PID?
We had the contract about, we have not executed the contract yet, though.
And why are you wanting the property back?
So all the property that's unbuilt on is owned by the owners association, and once something gets built on, we usually have someone come and buy it, and either they're the owner equities in that deal. And this one just has not been bought yet, but the contract was for $250.
All right, so you're gonna buy, I guess, buy them out, if you want to call it that, for the vertical, right?
No, sir, just buy the land from the owners association.
You already own the land.
Yes,
The
sir.
buyer association owns the land.
Yes, sir. But the buyer association is selling to another LLC for $255 to take it off, because the owners association owns vacant land and all the parking lots. So there's actually no income being made by the owners association, which is why they then sell the land once it's leased.
Are the parties that now own it selling to another entity that has the same parties involved?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Y'all got that?
Not really?
So you got, let's say me and you
Yeah.
on this, we own this, okay? Me and you gonna sell it to me for $255.
And why? Why were you buying it for $255?
Well, because I don't own it yet. I'm a partial owner. I wanna own it all.
Right, okay.
So
Why are you
the,
paying $255 for something if you already own it? I don't.
It's like you got several different parties in this one LLC. You got other parties in this other LLC, and they're.
that's correct. Yeah,
That's
we,
fine with me. Whoever buys it, you know, that's fine with me. I'm more
Yeah, but
curious
I
as
feel like, well, that's the decision part.
Is what, you know, what you're gonna, you know, what's the purpose of somebody buying it?
so
I mean, are you gonna use it, you're gonna change it, you're gonna do something to it, or?
the owners association that owns it now pays for all the parking lots and the vacant land. So when they have a building that's been built on and it costs more, it increases the taxes, and they don't have any way to recoup that. So they sell it to a separate entity, so it just pays the taxes and accepts the rent from that one building, business, whatever. And that's why they're selling it. So they sell it just to its own entity, and that's why they sell it for $255.
Okay.
Ray, got any questions?
Yeah, I agree with Mark. This is a little bit confusing, but you guys represent the association?
Yes, sir.
And they own all of the land in that area?
They own all the vacant land in the parking lot.
Just the vacant?
Yes,
Now,
sir.
the movie theater and the Hickory Tavern and all those guys there, they own the land that they sit on?
Yes, sir. They when they build on it, then that LLC or that company buys the land in the building.
Okay. So what are you saying the value should be on this?
$255.
And where did you get that from?
That's for the contract to buy this.
The what now?
The contract to buy this 0.597
Okay.
acres.
You guys got a good thing going. No more questions, Randy?
Thank you, Tom.
Yes, sir.
Sheriff of the county.
All right. I'm not here today prepared to speak on value. This was kind of a curveball at the last second. The basis for this appeal was that this property is considered common area. Even though it's not, we have nothing, we've researched the deeds, we've had ownership check it out. The basis for they said it was worth zero because it should be taxed at nothing because it's common area. So we've done our research as far as that standpoint, and as far as the value, the only thing I can tell you is that that property is based on the sales that I used, that I found in the area for reval, and it's applied accordingly. But I'm not here, I'm not here to speak on values or the sales that I used, because that was not what we were here for today. And I have Steve Crump with me. He was prepared to speak on whether or not this is a common area property or if it's an actual owned, ownership that's not common area. And so that's what we were here for.
Now, why are you using the phrase, who's using it, common area? I don't understand that. All right, so a common area to me is.
A common area is taxed, zero tax on it.
But it's not, but this is income producing property, I'm assuming. Somebody's making money on it. So it's not common.
I suppose. Well, it has to be platted in a certain fashion that dictates and designates that it's common area. Has to be deeded, has to be recorded. This one has not. This was a larger parcel that included the Goodyear property in front of it, and they sold off the Goodyear a couple of years ago, and they retained this piece. But like I say, their argument was that this should not be taxed at any type of value at all because it's part of the common area, like the property back behind it that has the parking for the movie theater. So that's why I'm here. I don't really have comps to show you or tell you because I was not expecting this type of appeal. We were just here whether it's common area or not common area.
Okay.
And we contend that it's not
I
common
agree.
area.
There's not much parking around it, is there?
Well, there is, but not
I know
on that
there is,
parcel,
but
yeah.
it's part of the
Yeah.
thing.
But it's,
I only have one question. So this one entity from another entity selling it, for $255, whatever, is that like an arm's length transaction or not?
If they're related, it would not be.
Well, that's okay, but we don't know who's related to which LLC.
That's correct. We don't.
Maybe that's why they do them. Who knows?
all right, thank you.
Tab number 9, parcel ID number 06003-037, Elaine Melton.
Mr. Chairman, we received an email last evening saying that the appellant was sick and unable to come today. This is an application for elderly exclusion. It was untimely. We can discuss it during deliberation, the information that she provided. But when an application is untimely, the tax office cannot accept it. It's within the board's, rights to.
Is this property on Highway 84 going to Wesley Chapel?
I don't, yes,
She's an accountant? Yep, I know Lane.
yeah.
And so,
We can talk about it more during
Okay.
deliberation if you want.
all right,
I just don't want to call it a
Yeah, it's not a
no-show at this
no-show.
point.
I mean,
well,
it's not a no-show because you want to discuss it.
Ish, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
okay, Bella?
Okay. Tabs number 10, 11, 12, and 13 are accepted staff recommendations. So we can proceed to deliberate.
Yep, thank you.
Parcel ID number, tab number 1, 09137004.
So this is tab 1.
I would recommend that we accept the county's evaluation of this lot. Now, Phil, all right, so let's say if he was here, I'd say go get it perked. And if it doesn't perk, then what kind of devaluation would you get?
Typically, we reduce it 75% on the
Okay.
piece of land.
So to me, that's what I would do.
Sure.
But if this thing perks, I would pay him that for it. Because this unbelievable what lots are going for. So I recommend, I suggest that we go with the county's
I'll make
evaluation
that
list.
motion. That we
Okay,
accept.
got a motion? Second, all in favor, say aye. Aye, thank you. On Mr. Hudson, I think I don't agree with either one of the, I don't agree with the county, I don't agree with Mr. Hudson. I think we kind of cut it, this is my suggestion again. He thinks it's worth, the appraiser thinks it's worth 205, the county thinks it's worth 260.
The timing of the comps is also factored
Yeah,
with what the county has available and what the actual appraiser uses. So I make a motion, we accept the county's value on this one.
do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Right?
Like sign, no. 2-1, it passes.
Moving to, you have to do no shows, right?
Right. Hold on. Mr. Chairman, if I could discuss tab number 3 with you. I've been working with the taxpayer on this one. I would ask that the board accept the county's new value on this, even though the taxpayer did not show up today.
Okay. Do I hear a motion that we accept the tax office's new valuation at $169,200?
Make Make that motion.
Got a motion?
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Thank you.
Tab number 4.
Let's take 4, 5, and 6, since it's all
Yeah.
same party.
4, 5, and 6 are no-shows.
Make a motion to accept the county's value.
Second.
Second, a second, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Thank you.
Tab number 7, parcel ID number 07090005P.
Make a motion that we accept the county's valuation on 36-6. 95% is pretty good.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Thank you.
Parcel ID number 8, 07090005R.
Okay, the only problem I have with this is the fact that Joe said he wasn't able to do values for that property. Is that correct? Or is Joe?
He
Mr.
wasn't ready to defend the values, and
Of
that was not the
466.
argument brought in front of us till this morning.
Okay, and that's why I'm just making a comment for me. We might as well listen. I want to be able to hear what he thinks it is.
Mr. Ashcraft,
Yes.
if you look in your documentation, you can see that the original appeal form
Yep.
indicated that the property owner considered the land to be common area,
Uh-huh.
and no other information was provided to the tax office until this morning.
Okay,
Do you see where I'm talking about?
I do. So does the county have a value of 466,700 on it?
Correct.
And it's justified in this?
It's valued with the same schedule we used to do the old Sun Valley Commons. Like I said, we were not prepared to argue value today because that didn't seem to be the matter in front of us.
Just if it's common or not, yeah, I don't have a problem. It doesn't look common to me, but I just was a little confused as to if the value is correct. But
Phil, if it's common area, there's no value?
Well, not exactly.
not exactly.
Typically a common open area, my house, across the street, there's a swimming pool. Now, it's not that it's tax-free, it's just that it's assumed that value is accounted for in all the parcels around it. I have rights to use the swimming pool, hence my value's up a little bit. So I'm really paying for that 1/200th of the swimming pool when I buy my house. So it's not that it's tax-free, it's just that it's taxed on the other properties. And that's the same thing that happened here. They divided up these 1,100 parking spots into a common open area, and they benefit the stores. Was able to go to the city of Indian Trail, and like the theater has used 750 of those parking spaces. So we took that 19 acres, divided up the market value of it into, I don't know, 1,400 parking,
the actual
and then
parcel.
added it back to the parcels that it attributed value to. So it does have value. We're just accounting for it on other parcels effectively. There are a couple rules, one of which is you can't be generating income off of it. And this one is this little piece, even if it was, mapped as common open area, we wouldn't consider it that way because it's not for the use of the tenants. This is really for the use of somebody else. So we historically have not considered those areas tax exempt. We've had where developers had sales offices on common open area. And we said, that portion, no, that's taxable. The rest of the common area isn't. But so I think this fails by 2 tests of being common open area for tax purposes. But, again, Joe wasn't prepared to speak to where he got that 465.7.
Well, as the chairman mentioned earlier, it is producing income at the moment with they've got a fruit stand, I believe, or something on there.
I don't think it was ever in the plat as common open area, and again, even if it was, we wouldn't consider it as the portion that was benefiting the tenants as a whole.
Yeah.
Well, I think, I'm suggesting the county is correct.
Okay, mean, that's why I was saying to you, I don't know how the county came up with the 466, except what he just said, and that is it kind of like from the property, based on the value of the Goodyear or McDonald's right there, is that a half an acre of land, and is that, you know, what
Sure.
they paid for it and all that?
Sure, we, you know,
That's
we've
what I'm
had,
saying, Tom.
we've had land
Not,
sales.
not parking, but
Right.
other property.
Sure, we've had land sales in the area, and I'm sure that's what Joe used to develop a rate for this to apply against. And typically, it's not one rate, it's a series of rates. You know, the ones in the corner gets more, the ones slightly off the corner, and the ones in the back get a little less. But we have a schedule of values, a schedule of rates in that area, and I'm sure that's what he used to derive this value on.
You know, I'm thinking, like, say, the lot has a water problem,
Yeah,
without that is worth 800 and change, I believe I heard him say, okay?
correct, yeah.
So now this lot with improvements is worth 465. I think that's why I'm thinking it's justified. Even though this lot's not a corner lot, I understand all that, but
Yeah. Okay,
that's, you know.
sorry to want this.
So we either need a motion or suggestions on what the new valuation should be.
Okay. Based on that, I still don't know. I really don't know. What's the value of the, I mean, are we basing it on the value of these other buildings with, I guess, that same kind of acreage? And if it's, you know, if we have the comps, then I tell you, I don't.
Where'd the 465 come from again?
I don't know.
If I can just add to
Please.
what Phil's already said, this is going to be this piece of property would have been valued in accordance with the schedule of values, based on the land rates for commercial property within that area.
But he didn't bring
And
that
base-
data because he didn't. think
Because
it would be
that was not the basis of their appeal,
Okay.
so that's why he did not have that
But he
data.
knows for sure that's what it's based on because it has the value on it.
That is correct. Now,
So it's always had the value on it, is that correct? Or was that building built and y'all picked it up and then?
no, that was not part of the common open area for this commercial development.
We have historically valued this property previously, it was valued at 358.2, so it did go up somewhat in this revaluation, no real change on it.
So it did, so you did have a value on it. Is it because of the, like, when did that building get on there based on the development?
That was built in the last year or two.
Yeah, it was. And again, that was a leased property, a leased building,
Okay,
so somebody else is getting the bill for the building.
okay.
It's a
As
ground
personal
lease.
property. So we're just, even though the building there, that it's on a separate piece of paper. So we're just valuing the land. We have this commercial retail per acre, as very good, site rating for this subdivision is how we valued it, you know, and that comes out to a rate of $600,000 per acre, and then times almost 0.6 acres is how it got valued. Now, I can't point to the sales of where we got the 600.
Okay.
It was in accordance with the schedule of values and the land rates for that neighborhood.
So Phil, what was the previous value? You said 350 something?
358,200.
That's
Prior to the revaluation.
and that
Okay,
was,
and they've been paying that, right? They've been, or somebody's been
As
paying it.
far as I know, I don't have the paper
Somebody,
history.
because that's what I'm saying, now you're saying y'all did have it as a lot and it was a buildable lot. and it-
We always have, yes.
Oh.
It's
okay.
always been taxed with,
Okay.
from 2015 revaluation was at
Okay, now you're
358.
telling me it's been on the books.
Yeah.
I thought it was
No.
common area.
No,
No, this is not something
It
new.
was part of everybody else's, one
We-
else's.
we- no, we-
All right,
we-
I understand.
We've always had it as taxable land.
Okay.
The argument was new to us this year.
Thank you very much. Mr. Chairman, I make a motion, we accept the value of 465,700.
Do you hear a second?
second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Like sign no. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, if I can address tab number 9. The appellant provided documentation for the board to review. As I stated earlier, this application for elderly exclusion did come in after the deadline. The deadline for the application is June 1st. She did reach out to the post office. It appears in her emails back and forth between us and the post office that there could be grounds for the mail getting hung up. We are familiar with, mail coming in late. But
When did you receive it?
when did we receive it, Steve? Do you remember? Yeah. The letter to the taxpayer was dated June 18th, so I don't think it was that late. It's just that, the deadline's the deadline, and the tax office can't accept late applications.
When's the deadline?
June 1st.
And you
And we sent the letter on June 18th.
Okay. Does the county have a recommendation on this situation here? I know you can't make the final decision, but
I think giving the
I don't know.
unusual circumstances that we've had during the last year and a half, we do know that the mail has gotten hung up. We have some specific cases. For instance, my tax bill was over a month and a half late, and it was sitting in the Monroe office. So I would recommend that we go ahead and approve the elderly exclusion if she qualifies on other basis.
Okay, I'll make that motion, as a motion, Mr. Chairman.
So we don't know yet that she qualifies for the elderly exemption, right?
No, all we know is that the application came in
Okay.
late. So if her income,
Yeah,
if she,
meets the criteria
Right.
and everything.
So I'm, excuse me, I'm a little bit skeptical because you got an accountant preparing her own tax return that there may be a plan there to show less income to qualify. I mean, that's just,
Possibility.
I'm sorry, Ms.
Again-
Milton is a CPA?
yes, or she's an accountant.
She's an
She
accountant?
prepares tax returns.
So all your motion would be today would be for us to accept and review the application.
Okay,
Then we'll go.
then I've got a motion. Do I hear a second?
I got a question, though.
Okay.
If we accept this and she doesn't qualify, then it's null and void? In other words, based on the income and all that jazz?
If she doesn't meet the
Well-
qualification, she would not get the exclusion. All you're voting on is to accept the application for review purposes.
Okay.
All right,
Yes,
I'll
that's
second
correct, that's my motion.
Okay, I got a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Robin.
Hearing number 10, 11, 12, and 13 are accepted staff recommendations.
Do you hear a motion? We accept the staff recommendations.
Yes, on some of them, they have new tax values, so just make sure we understand that all of them have been changed. I make a motion, we accept them.
All right, do you hear a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
We ready to adjourn?
You don't have any informal staff recs?
We do.
What the inform, oh,
Okay. Oh, no,
I'm sorry.
I got it.
14, tab 14 would be all the staff, informal staff recommendations.
Okay. Do I hear a motion that we accept the informal staff recommendations, knowing that they could reappeal those?
Okay, is that what you're saying? This will,
It's a
I
work
didn't know
we,
about this. What
yeah,
this-
it's a work we've done to this point with the taxpayers. They could still decide that that doesn't meet their needs and still come before the board. It's just what
Okay,
we've
that's how
done.
it's set up. Yes, sir, I'll make a
All
recommendation,
right, thank you. Mark,
motion on that.
do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. And on the second part of that, that is the last of them. We have completed the informal staff appeals for this year.
Okay.
Do you hear a motion, we adjourn?
So moved.
Got a motion, second?
I kind of like being here. Second?
Second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
So y'all just started doing
It's always been done. It's a little different than this year.
this? What y'all done is take somebody's built their property and you're going back and reviewing it and you're saying, here's the new tax value. And have you sent that new value to these same people?
We received it, it says, want to continue your appeal, then please let us know, we'll schedule a meeting.
Okay, and that's all you've done with it?
That's all we do.
And this is a way, if they let y'all know, yes, I agree with you, you don't